Excuse me, my Sisters United talk show line. Thank you.
All right, welcome to the show. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
Hey, hello.
what's up? What's up? I'm shaking my head because I'm shaking my earrings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I gotta get me a pair of those.
Oh, I got you, girl. I got hundreds of them. I made a bunch of them, girl. Uh,
I gotta get me a couple of pair of those.
yeah, and all colors, girl. All colors. Hey,
Thank
y'all, listen. I'm gonna ask everybody, how was your day? Did you get some things accomplished? Because I'm passing out a rule. Every day, do one thing towards your business, career, or whatever you have a passion for. Okay. So let's start with Odessa. What you do today?
Uh, I called and got a bill extended.
Okay.
And what else did I do?
Okay.
That's toward the
Something,
household. Come on.
yes, toward the household. Something toward the business. What did I do today? Oh, I made me a checklist of what I needed to do for the month of May. So if I write it down, then I can check it off as it go. I made a checklist.
Okay. Okay.
Hey.
Okay, Alicia.
Well, this week, I don't know if it's been an accomplishment, but well, yes, it's an accomplishment. I am making my debut once again on my own as a band leader and not a band member. So
Oh,
every day
Awesome.
yes, my band is back in business and we about to make some stuff happen.
come on.
But the to-do list, I guess to say today I was able to create the song list so I can send it to the guys this evening
Hmm.
and making a checklist for the next 10 days that are coming up because it's the debut is on the 10th of May and I'm extremely excited about it.
Okay, okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm excited too. Cause I love when you take the reins of your destiny and you handle your business. Sometimes we place the responsibility on others or we just ride along, you know?
Right.
Sometimes you gotta get in that driver's seat. You gotta get in that driver's seat. So I'm very, very excited for you. I'm excited for what Odessa's doing, even though she is not. I'm not going.
Even though I have not what, Queenie May. We
She
are
didn't
on
say
the air.
Queenie May. She said Queenie May.
You have not read an excerpt from Praying Through the Journey. I'm not
I have
gonna.
not. I have not. But I figured you read them all. Every time
Girl,
you come
I
on, you
only
read one.
one.
Okay, well, I will read one, but not tonight
Wow.
because I didn't have to
Okay.
get off and go get a book.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go into our icebreaker tonight. Make sure that y'all like, share, subscribe. We're on YouTube, on My Gospel Soul Network. Y'all send it to all your friends, all of that good stuff. Let me take this off here. Send it to all your friends. Send it to whoever. Okay, they need to be on the show tonight, because I promise you, the topic tonight is something else. Okay, would you rather? All right, now y'all hold on to your seats for this one. Would you rather have Dolly Parton's or Billie Eilish's Eilish wardrobe? Now Billie Eilish is grunge. You know, she wear jerseys, big old pants.
Yeah, she throwed off. This her perfume.
Okay. So which one would you rather? Dolly Parton's wardrobe or Billie Eilish?
I don't
I
even
would
know
have
who
to go
Billie
with
Eilish
Dolly.
is, so I'm gonna say Dolly Parton.
What you say? Wait a minute. What you say, Alicia?
I'm gonna have to go with Dolly.
Me too.
And you know why, Odessa? Because see, we a little top heavy up here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but you're right. We're a little well endowed, so
We a
it fit.
little a
Well,
little Dolly Parton fit up here.
Right,
So
right.
I'm gonna go with Billy then, cause I ain't working. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Would you rather? Oh, we already did that one. Let me see. Would you rather smell like feet or smell like eggs?
neither, because they both smell almost the same. When you
You gotta
boil the
pick
eggs
one.
anyway.
No, we ain't doing that this time. You gotta pick one.
I think I would rather smell like eggs, because feet
I'm gonna have to
smell
go
can
with
be
the
different on
eggs.
different people. So I'm gonna be an egg.
I'm gonna have to go with an egg. Because
Yeah, cause
feet will make you not want to eat Fritos.
oh, baby.
And I love Fritos because, you know, we love a good Frito pie.
Yeah, but foot odor, you can't even get away from it.
Yeah, you can't get
You
away from that.
dodging it, you can't even get away from foot odor. Oh Lord, yeah. I go with egg. Long as you ain't a rotten egg, I go with egg.
Right.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Would you rather be able to run on your hands or write with your feet?
Right with my feet. I don't want to run. I just don't. So I rather right with my feet.
Look like we all on the same page tonight. I done got too old to be running.
Me too. I don't want to do no running, but I will write with my feet. I think that's an art.
Yeah.
There are people that write with their feet.
Listen, okay, let me see. I don't feel like running either, so we're gonna be some feet writing.
Yeah.
Baby.
Sister.
Okay. Would you rather have eyes in the back of your head or be able to taste with your fingers?
Oh, I want eyes in the back of my head.
I
I want to
already
see.
got them. All
Well,
the
I didn't
children
think
I
I'm
had, I
supposed
got
to go
eyes
to
back
eyes
there.
that's in the back of my head.
You already got them, Elise.
Look, I had 5 kids and got 2 handfuls of grandchildren. I got them back there. Let me, what is it? What's the other one?
Eyes in the back
Taste
of your
with your
head
fingers.
or be able to taste with your fingers.
Yeah, because that way I won't put it in my mouth. I done gained too much weight. So if I can taste it with my fingers before I put it, yeah, I would, yeah.
Okay.
Because that'll keep that, think
Okay,
about that.
but I'm gonna tell you something though. The reason I ain't gonna pick that was because we got to use the restroom.
Huh?
Got to use the restroom.
You wash your hands, don't you?
But you taste with your fingertips. I'm not doing the taste with the fingertips. I'm just gonna have to be a big old lady with an eye in the back of my head. I can't do it.
I guess so. I guess so. Cause I didn't think about that part.
Would you rather sleep for a whole year or not sleep at all for a year?
Ooh. I don't want to miss a year sleeping.
I don't want to be up for a year though. Just woke for a whole year.
Wouldn't that drive you crazy though? Because I mean, God, dog. But am I wide awake or am I just woke? Like I'm just, and then
It don't matter if I can't sleep. I don't want to do neither one of them.
got to pick. We do it. You got to pick tonight. You got to pick.
Let's see.
I think I have to run the risk of just being up for a year.
Yeah, because
I don't think I want to sleep for a year. I'll be scared I'm gonna miss something.
Hey, babe, I don't want to sleep for a year. Cause I don't want to sleep for a year. You know what happens to people when when they sleep?
I don't know if I want to be up for a whole year.
For a year. All right. Would you rather?
I'm gonna sleep.
You gonna sleep?
I'm gonna sleep.
All right. Would you rather wear the same socks for a month or the same underwear for a week? We've done this one before, but there it is.
Oh, I need the same socks for a month. I cannot wear the same pair of panties for a whole week.
You better talk about it. I'm gonna have to do the socks.
Baby, I got to do the socks.
I got to do the socks. They didn't say we couldn't wash them.
For real. Okay. That's it for our what is it called? Icebreaker.
That was our would you rather icebreaker.
That's the would you rather icebreaker. Next week, Odessa, next week.
I will be ready.
Okay. Next
The
week.
in the car, that's why I'm saying that.
Okay. Next week, Alicia will do our quote of the night. It could be an encouraging quote, funny quote, doesn't matter. All right. 1 John 4:7 says, let us love one another. For love comes from God, and everyone who loves is born of God and loves God. All right?
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So we got an exciting topic. When we come back from this break, Alicia's going to take over because she's doing the what would you do thought for the night. And I got a feeling it's going to be good. Okay? So y'all hold up. We'll be right back.
Don't y'all hate when somebody be like, how's your little business going? Like, it's big energy. Big business.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's me, JD, of JD's Man Cave. We're having a show for educated black.
Welcome back. All right, I digress. So Alicia's going to jump on in there.
Okay, so our what would you do question from last week was, what would you do if you and your husband or if you and your spouse have been together for decades and your spouse is on their deathbed. And in this case, I guess this is to the ladies because this was how this was brought up. So, ladies, you're at the hospital with your husband. He's on his deathbed. He may not have another week. They have told you that there's not anything else that they can do. He's comfortable. We got to keep him comfortable until he passes. You leave the house, you leave the hospital, and you come back from, taking a break or showering or whatever it is, and you come back and there's a woman with 2 little children, ages 7 and 4, standing next to your husband's hospital bed. Your husband, in his moment of clarity, proceeds to tell you that this was his mistress and his 2 children that he has had with her over the past few years that they have been together. And he was her sole source of income the entire time that they were together. Meaning she didn't work. Lord, I'm going to try not to use my words tonight. She didn't have a job. This meaning this sister didn't have a job. Now, 2 or 3 days later, your husband dies. But now you're left with dealing with a mistress and 2 other children that are trying to hoard in on, well, not hoard in on, they think they deserve a piece of his policies and things like that. You're comfortable. You and him have worked. You all have your retirement incomes. You have everything coming in. And when he passes, you are going to be very well taken care of because you've had the policies in place. All of the money is coming to you. All of your children are grown. So there's no reason for the children to have any kind of vested interest in the policies unless their dad left them a policy and left them with some money. But you're, as the wife, coming into all of this money. The question is, what would you do? Would you help these children and this mistress that didn't have a job, that was messing around with your husband and help her take care of these kids? What would you do?
Am I saved?
You can be, listen.
Did you say, what are you saved?
Listen. In whatever capacity you're thinking, this is the question of what you would do. Because saved or not, I'm going to tell y'all what I would do. But I'm going to hold off because I'm going to let y'all tell what y'all going to do.
I'll go because I'll let Queenie decide if she's saved or not on it.
Okay. Saved Queenie would
okay.
Is she okay. I'm the one that got money. And
you've been with this man for decades. Y'all are retired.
Okay, I got that part. I'm talking about the
y'all
money.
Are retired, got grown kids, y'all got paper.
All the money goes to you, the wife.
To the wife. Because y'all kids are grown, so there's nothing left for nobody else to get.
And she got baby kids.
And she been fooling around with your man for close to 10 years because she got 2 of them, 7 and 4.
You know what I do? I'll be honest. This is what I do. I would take her, I would pull out my resource book and help her get, I would ask her, you got a place to live? You got all that? Because I'm hurting right now and I'm too hurt to act a fool. Okay. He died. He died. So my mama's home training would kick in because it's my survival. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. That part of me that's saved and sanctified kicks in to protect me from Nene. See, Nene is ignorant. Nene would say, well, I guess you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do. I guess you're gonna have to figure that out because I ain't got nothing to do. I would click and go into that.
So that's why you asked, were you saved?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I would, did she ask me for help? This is what I'm saying. Did she, if she didn't ask me for help, did y'all see that?
Yeah,
You
well, I
have
saw
an
it.
iPhone there.
Oh, did she ask me for help? That's what I'm asking you, Alicia. Did she ask me to help her? What's happening?
What's happening is the
The
man is
situation. Go ahead. Go ahead.
what's happening is the man is dead. He done left 2 babies behind. That's your husband, but that's his WHORE.
That's it. But see, that's the key. You said,
So the question is, what would you do? I want to know what y'all would do because I'm gonna tell y'all what I would do. Y'all gonna be tickled at what I do, but
okay,
I
okay.
want to hear what y'all. Oh, that's what would you do? Because Queenie trying to stay saved. We not trying. We not talking about saved or not saved. We talking about as a woman.
But
As a
honestly, saved
woman,
or not
what would I
saved,
do?
saved or not saved is not my responsibility to take care of her and her 2 kids. That's not my
Okay,
responsibility. You slept with a married man, and then you in here talking to him on your relationship, and you grieving him on your relationship. It is not for me to pick up his cross and walk with it. The Lord told me to pick my cross up. He didn't tell me to pick her cross up. Now, if she is just because you said he was her soul, he took care of her. So she still got a house and food in the refrigerator, you know. She still got that. Go ahead.
so that's
I would help her find a job or give her some resources to look for a job because she is not my responsibility. But the mother in me would put a trust fund up for both of those children that they could not get until they were 21, and she could not get it at all because the
Can I
children are not at fault.
can I
And
ask a
I'm a stickler for children if I can help them. And if I'm set up like I'm set up, because the poor kids didn't ask to be here. So
I
I
ain't
would
asked
set up
for
a
him
trust
either.
fund. I didn't either. House and never, they're here. So you asked me what I would do. I
Right.
would set up a trust fund for the children that they could not touch until they were 21, and she could not touch it at all. And I would leave her to fend for herself. Now that kind of sound a little warped because the children got to fend for, she got to fend for herself and her children. I would not house them, but I would set up a trust fund.
Okay.
Because
Now, what
where's
were
her
you?
mom and her family and all of that? And if he set it up that well, she been in missions for 10 plus years. He didn't have no insurance. She didn't set up no insurance for her. She didn't have no savings. She wasn't working the money he was giving or whatever. She didn't do nothing. She just sleeping with the man and not profiting at all from somebody else's husband. It's not my responsibility to take care of her.
Question, Queenie. What's up?
the question is, the only difference now is that the husband is not there anymore. Or how does the responsibility for this this is my point. How does his mistress now become my responsibility? That's mistress,
It's
children,
not. It's
that
not your responsibility.
become my responsibility. That is not. And then we cannot talk about this woman as though she don't already, because she was eating, she got a place to live. It's not my responsibility. That is not, baby. I wish you luck when your children get older and they want to meet their siblings. That's between them and their siblings. But what do I have to do with her? Nothing. You slept with my husband all these years. I don't owe you anything. You already been paid. You got it.
Right.
I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe you trust funds or none of that. I don't owe you none of that.
I wouldn't do the trust fund because I feel like I owe her. That's just out of the goodness of my
My
heart for
business.
children. But the bottom line is we don't owe her anything. I don't owe her nothing. Because if I hadn't walked in, I probably wouldn't even found out about her.
Right. And she still would have had to figure out what she was gonna do with herself, you know. And I'm talking about from my point of view, that's how I feel. I feel like, okay, I walk in, it's this extra family here. Her best bet is that Jesus is standing next to me. That's her best bet. You know, Jesus, are you here, Jesus? You here with me? Okay, Jesus. Okay, God. You know, because that's shocking. That is traumatic. That is, he is
Yeah.
on his deathbed. You know, I'm
No, he died. He just
and
flat out died.
right, and then I'm in here in the middle of grief, and I'm grieving a man that I'm not even thinking this type of scenario is going on. Then boom, you got a village came in. You done double lifed on me. You know what I'm saying?
You've been double life for 10 years and now you done got sick and I done took care of you all this time. Now I got you in the hospital and there ain't no more you can do, they can do. And
the girl ain't rocking the baby. They stood it up on their own.
okay, y'all ready for what I would do?
I'm
What
ready.
would you do, Alicia?
The only thing she'll get next to me is a seat at the funeral home. I'm going to bring her and her little bastard children to the funeral home. Saved or not saved, we not having the funeral at the church no more because you was a man whore and you decided to have a double life. So now you're going to get your funeral at the funeral home. All of that we done set up that's supposed to be so wonderful and nice. No, see, that's some of that money going back in my pocket. Baby girl should have had a life insurance policy and some things set up for her and her children. I'm not giving them children no trust funds. Baby, look, F you and them children. Now you're asking what I would do. The only thing she would get from me is a seat at the funeral, and she gonna sit right up there next to me because 9 times out of 10, his family know this heifer and them children.
Yeah.
And they ain't said nothing to me in 10 years. Let's just give it 10 years. Because these children are 7 and 4. We can at least give him 8. Hold
My
on.
thing is,
You can at least give him that. So, by them having that, somebody knew that this man had a whole nother family going on. Somebody knew. So, we're going to change the funeral from the church to the funeral home. I'm already going to be set up with one of his homeboys that was already had his eyes on me. And we already got a trip planned to Jamaica somewhere or something to that effect. Because I done held my life up for you. I done held my life up for you.
oh my God.
I'm saying this because I literally physically watched this happen.
You went through it.
I didn't go through it, but I saw this happen minus the children.
Yeah.
I saw this happen minus the kids. Now, you done lived a double life. Now the family gonna want to look at me. Well, we got to do something about them children. I'm going to stand up right in that funeral because I'm going to put on the program words from the wife. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to introduce his mistress and his 2 little children. And I'm going to speak to his family. Y'all knew who they were, so they are not your responsibility. To my children, I hate that y'all had to learn that y'all daddy did this to y'all, but this y'all little sister, y'all little brother. We're not going to the repast. I'm not going to the repast, and we're not going to the grave because I'm having him cremated. Y'all can split up his ashes and do whatever it is you want to do. I'm finna take my money, and I'm gonna holler at one of them homies that I thought was fine anyway, and we finna take a trip, and I'm gonna live out the rest of my life, and I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. The first thing people say, oh, but the kids didn't ask to come here. Hell, I didn't ask for mine, but God gave them to me. He didn't give me no other woman's kids that was messing around with my husband. So she's not getting a trust fund. She ain't getting a distrust fund. She's not getting a college fund. She's not getting a nothing. I'm not going to argue with you about Social Security because 9 times out of 10, he done signed them birth certificates. And she can go get a Social Security check for them kids. That'll be how she fend for herself. I'm not giving them nothing. The whole family would be mad at me. I know a man, I literally saw this happen. This woman was so mad.
That's
She
why you
gave
have
her,
such passion about you have such a passion for it because you actually saw somebody go through this.
yes, this
But
woman
you
was
know
with her
what?
husband her whole life. From school, they were together. This
And
man led
it's
a double
anger.
life with another woman. She was so mad she wanted to go dig him up out the grave with a spoon.
And it's anger that's associated with it. It's abandonment. It's
Mhm. Trust.
betrayal. It's all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff wrapped up in that. The hurt, the pain, and I believe, and I'm listening to you, Alicia. That's reality. Some
It
that
is.
anger will put you on a ride that you can't get off of. You
Hmm.
be the did to, I don't. Okay, so my last name is Jackson. Mr. Jackson died, and his both his ex-wives showed up at the funeral. Before the funeral, planning the funeral, his son and daughter came up to the funeral home to try to take over the funeral. They wanted their own limo. They wanted a whole bunch of stuff. And the funeral director escorted them out because they say, y'all ain't paying for it. So he escorted them out. We get to the funeral. They hatched a plan for their family and the people that they know to sit on one side of the church, and everybody I know to sit on one side. They then had a box of programs separate from the programs that was made for the funeral. So they had programs on their side of the church. We had programs on our side of the church. His kid's mother, she came in, she sat down, she didn't say nothing. The lady he was with before me and him got married, she came in and practically climbed in the casket. Oh Lord, all outside fell out loud, you know. I couldn't pay attention because I was burying my husband. I heard rumors that this happened, that happened. I didn't care because I was in the middle of grief because I was burying my husband. Me and grief have tussled a lot of times in my life. So these people were acting when I say a donkey at this funeral, about to fight at this funeral, it was chaos. The funeral director got up and stood at the front of the church and said, I have never in my life seen anything like this. He told that girl and her family, y'all ought to be ashamed of the way y'all are carrying yourself at this funeral. This woman has put this man away in the most beautiful way and got a limo for y'all. And look how y'all carrying it. When I say it didn't end with the funeral, I mean they carried on. They carried it. Oh, everybody wanted to get his watches. They wanted to get his clothes. Now these people that never showed up while I was taking care of and we were living, never seen these people.
I wish somebody would come to me and my
Never
husband's house to
seen.
get anything.
But my point is, I was so caught up in
You
the
were
fact,
grief stricken.
yeah, in the grief of it, that I didn't have time to see who was sleeping with who was who, because he ain't gonna sleep with you no more if he here. I don't. During his last 3 years that we had together, he was at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? It was just I was not there for it. I was not there for it. In the midst of the grief, it was some papers that was signed. It was some stuff that happened, but I was not, I was grieving. So I think that everybody handles things differently. You know,
They do.
they handle it different. I mean, we've seen movies where the woman show up with the kids and drop them off at the lady house. You know, hey, here's kids. You know, we've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think everybody handle it different. Everybody handle it different, and so I could understand Alicia's reaction. You know,
Mhm.
because that is devastating to me. That's devastating.
That woman went to her husband's job just to get his effects. Of the 30 years that he worked at his job, he missed 8 days of work in 30 years. 8 days of work. These were the things that they highlighted about. Oh, he was such a good man. He was such a this and such a that. That woman went to his job to go grab his toolbox and stuff from his job. And she found an entire life that this man was leading with another woman. All their pictures, the different places they went to, vacations he went on where he probably was going hunting. He was somewhere hoeing and whatever else he was doing. And when it was all said and done, the one person that comforted her was one of his best friends. And not too long after, because she went on a spiral. She just went on a downward spiral and just started,
I understand.
how grief stricken, it make you do different things. She was so mad, she
Yeah.
was ready to dig him up and kill him again. That's how upset she was.
Right. Rightly so.
I get
You
it.
know, and even his mama told her, oh girl, his daddy used to do that. You have to just accept that. What? Okay. So later on, a couple of months passed, and her and the best friend that he had started dating. All the other group of brothers, because there was a group of them. These guys, I knew it was during the time that I was married. All of these guys. Now, all of these guys got upset when this one guy went to go see about this woman, but none of the
Right.
rest of them would go by and see about her. But he would go see about her. He would go make sure she not on a corner somewhere. He would make sure she not somewhere doing,
Lost
out
her
there
mind.
just losing her mind. He was out there
Yeah.
checking on her, making sure she was okay. And then I guess they found solace in each other and they started dating. So when they started finding out that those two were dating, they all got mad. And then when people were talking to me about it, when they told me who she was dating, I said, oh, that lucky heifer. And people were looking at me like, what? I said, man, that lucky heifer. I said, couldn't have been me. when it was the new guy she started dating.
Yeah.
That was his. I'm talking, it was 3 of them. And those 3, whenever you saw one, you saw the other 2. It was 3 of them. And when he died, those other 2 went to see about her. They took care of them kids. They made sure that they were taken care of. They made sure. To this day, they still go and see about her. But honey, when she found that out and she started dating him, now all the brothers is upset. She don't supposed to be dating him and this, that. Okay, well, where were y'all when he was doing what he was doing? That was okay.
And how soon after a spouse passes do you move on? Some people, depending on the family you in, some people think you never supposed to move on. You never supposed to marry. And it's
Right.
never marry again. They
Right.
never, I'm somebody, never. But then there's some people, they know they don't want to be by themselves, and eventually.
Yep. Eventually they go.
I think it depends on the person, your own personal feeling or belief.
Yeah.
But I believe that you're supposed to move on. I mean, you didn't pass away. So I think that you should move on. I think that there should be a respectable amount of time. I don't think if my husband died in April, I'd be dating somebody in July.
Right.
You don't know that though.
And if I rekindle or if I kindle or get with somebody, I'm probably not going to go public with it at least for 6 months, because I just think it should be done decent and in order. I'm not saying that I didn't love my husband, but he did. But I just think it should be a certain amount of respectable time.
But who says it's respectable Who lays that out?
You do.
How do you know?
It depends on your belief. For me,
But
it would at least be 6 months. But for somebody else, and men always move on quicker than women. A man's
right,
spouse could die, he married 3 months later, and don't care, don't think nothing else about it. I'm just
right.
not built.
So why
So
is
it's
it
a
that?
personal preference.
So why is it that people? Why, why is it that people expect women to respect or to mourn for a certain time, but men?
Because we live in a double standard. It's just a double standard. If women did hold around like oh, he's just a man, he's sowing his wild oats. But if a woman did the same thing, she a hoe.
Yeah, this is
You
true.
know, it's just we live in a double standard society.
Right, we totally do. But the thing is, like, I don't know if it was. I know they got married a year later, but it wasn't 6 months that they were dating. That they started dating.
Right,
It wasn't
right.
6 months that they started dating, and I think it was because they were. He was always around to see about him, to make sure she was
Right,
okay. And
right.
I
And
think they
she's
just
still upset and hurt because he betrayed her.
right because she asked them, "Who is this?" And neither one of them knew what she was talking about because he never told them. He never told those two particular best friends what he had going on, so they had no idea that he had been cheating on her all them years.
Wow.
They had no idea because when the phone call came from the wife to one of the brothers, and she asked, "Who is such and such?" and they were looking at her like, "I don't know. What you talking about?" And they're like, "Yeah, you know what it is." And she was going off on them because she just swore that they knew who this lady
Right,
was. They
right.
had no idea. That's why I say she was so mad. She said, I'm so mad I can go dig him up with a spoon.
Wow.
Wow.
That's how angry she was.
Y'all, listen. This is this is good. This is good. We'll be right back after this break. Hey, Big Mama. Hey, is that how you greet people? Lord, these young people today. And what you got on? Clothes, Big Mama. Clothes? You better watch your mouth. Go on up there and get some out my closet to put on. You should have just came outside naked. But it ain't your fault, baby. Well, whose fault is it, Big Mama? It ain't your fault. It's your mama's fault for letting you come out the house looking like that. Now get on up there and get you some clothes on. Welcome back. This is Sisters United, and the topic tonight is deep. It's really deeper than it really. I mean, if we had
It really
a
is.
couple of hours, we could really dissect it because it's a lot in what you said tonight, Alicia. It's a lot. I can hear pain. I can hear rejection. I can hear because think about that in that moment. You have been a dutiful wife. You have taken care of your husband. Your husband is dying. Your mind is not even on surprises. It's
Right.
Right,
on it's on the fact that I'm gonna bury the love of my life. And boom, here's this surprise. It shakes your whole world up. So wow, that's deep. Next week we're gonna talk about uh Odessa's book, Praying Through the Journey. Alicia's gonna have us an encouraging word for next week, or a quote. And I'm very excited about this season of Sisters United. we are not cutting corners. We're not being fake on this show. We are talking about things that women really go through, and
Right.
cheating, adultery, and how fast people move on from. That's a deep situation. Hopefully we can get more into it next week. Odessa, well,
Yes,
Alicia
ma'am.
tells us about an upcoming event she has after Odessa tells us about what's going on with praying through the journey.
Well, I spoke at Bible study yesterday. And when I walked in, a lady that I have been knowing for quite some time, mostly probably all of my life, was sitting there. She's very private. She was sitting there and she had the book open and she was actually journaling. And I was like, "Oh, you're journaling?" She said, "Yes, this is something new for me." So I was excited about that because that's what the book was written for. And I spoke a word, and when I left, I had to leave early. And when I left, a lady wanted to buy the book because I spoke from the book. And she said she wanted to buy the book because she had some things she needed to get off her chest and she didn't want to share it with anybody. So she wanted a book so that she could write in it. I wasn't there. They didn't have a book. So the lady that I knew gave her journal to this lady. And now she's going to buy another one so that I can give it to her because she didn't want the lady to miss an opportunity not to receive the book and start journaling that day. So
Wow.
it's just been a blessing. It has done what I prayed that it would do, help other people to heal and to find another outlet if they didn't want to talk. It's just been a
Right.
blessing. I have so many testimonies I'm having there about miracles. And one of lady that bought the book has lupus. And she said after she read the topic on my miracles and my healing, because I have a healing journey, she started looking at her lupus a whole different way. Because at
Hmm.
first she was identifying herself as, I have lupus, my name is so and so. And after reading and the journal, she said, now I say my name is, and they say I have lupus.
Ah,
You know how
Ah.
this is awesome.
yeah.
So she was identifying herself with what she had. But after reading and praying and going through the journal, she changed the whole identity of how she felt. She's that person now, not what the diagnosis says. And I just think it's a blessing. I just love the testimonies. And it was my prayer that they continue grow as we go.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
It
Alicia,
is.
tell us about. Well, I got a person I want to request to be on the show, or if you could next week, Odessa, if you could get someone who has read from the journal and have been blessed
Okay.
and would be willing to come on and give a testimonial, that'd be great.
Okay. I can do that. I can at least try and ask. People are kind of
Yeah.
shy about podcasting.
Yeah. Uh, okay, Alicia, what you got coming up?
Okay, so I will not be here next week. I have a major rehearsal that I have to attend, and I hate I'm gonna miss. I may pop on for a few minutes. I want to try to get on real early so I can do the encouraging word, but then I may have to dip. On May 10th, my band is going to be making its re-debut, should I say.
What is the name of the band?
The name of my band is the Unorthodox Band
Okay.
because I'm a little weird. I'm a little unorthodox. I can do a little, yeah. I I can do music from Frank Sinatra to R&B to rock, pop, and a little country. So
I'm a witness.
I can pretty much do music that they throw at me. You bring me some heavy metal rock and you got a song that you're singing, I can do it. You got some country, I can do it. So I put a band together back in 2014 for um an event, and I gave it the name Unorthodox because someone told me, well, you are a little weird. I say, yeah, I am a bit unorthodox. They were like, that's the name of your band then. That's what you should name your band. And I'm like, okay. So we didn't disband, but I got busy with other things, and the main bands that I was working with, we got super busy, and I just couldn't keep up with my own and what I was doing as the lead vocalist for the Next Level band. So I got an opportunity this past week to do a show, and it was supposed to be with someone, but they called me and they were like, well, I got good news and bad news. The good news is the show is a go, but you're going to have to do it without me. And this is something that I've been asking the Lord to do. Lord, I'm ready to get back out here on my own. I'm ready to do what I need to do for Alicia.
Yeah.
Lord, I need, I'm ready to do this. If you, Lord, if you feel like I'm ready, set it up. And I will tell you, as I'm sitting here, he set it up.
Amen.
Because he told me, he said, I can't, he said, I have the show, but you're going to have to do it without me. He said, I didn't realize that I'm booked. I've double booked myself, so you're going to have to go on without me. And I'm like, please don't play with me. Please don't play with me. I said, because I'm going to end up being y'all competition. He said, well, competition or not, he said, I got plenty of opportunities that I can throw your way if you want them.
And it's amazing God opens doors like that.
Yes, it is amazing.
Where we're supposed to be at. A lot of times we're not where we're supposed to be at. We're where we want to be at. And you miss the thing.
Yep. So May 10th, I will be at Katie Vibes Restaurant. It's in Katy. It's a nice big restaurant with the Unorthodox Band from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. We will be making our re-debut, and I will be putting on a full show on May 10th.
Great.
And we'll be sharing more about that as well.
Yes.
We'll
be sharing more.
If you're interested in having a commercial on our show, we do have space. So let us know. We are going to be advertising more from praying through the journey. I'm believing God for more book signings. Amen.
Amen.
The products coming up. Well, I'm gonna leave it alone. She just when she ready. Anything else, y'all, before we let these airways go tonight?
I want everybody to be encouraged because I'm good on saying what I would do. I really enjoyed this "What Would You Do" segment.
Yeah.
And it's got me sweating.
I enjoyed it as well, and it gives you 3 different perspectives.
Right.
Because we all have different experiences on why we do and say what we do. But the same topic gave us 3 different perspectives, and I just love that.
Right. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, we want y'all to remember that without faith it's impossible to please God, but with God, all things are possible. Who cares? God cares. God bless you all.
I love y'all.
Love
Have
you.
a good rest of the week.
You too.
You too.